Okay, so I spend way too much time playing DeltaRune and watching other people play it. Like, I literally watched like 4 or 5 other YouTubers play this game, and I watched dozens of videos on, DeltaRune Easter eggs, who is Gaster, and all those freaking videos. And at the end, what I realized is that this game doesn't make any sense. And I think the main reason why this game doesn't make any sense, why it's hard to tell if this game is a sequel, prequel, or is it in a different timeline. If it's in a different timeline, then why are some things different? Everything just seems very confusing. And I think the main reason why that is because this game was never meant to be related to Undertale. And Toby actually confirmed this. Apparently this was the game that he was actually working on, and then he got the idea for Undertale, and then once he started doing Undertale, he got caught up in that game, and then he pretty much, stopped working on this game and then just focused on Undertale. So this game was never meant to be related to Undertale, and I think you can tell that if you play the game and pay attention a lot. So what is this game meant to be? And I think what this game meant to be is 2 characters who are both some are just young. I can't even tell if they're supposed to be young children or if they're supposed to be going to high school. But what I can tell is that once they do go inside the closet, then it kind of blurs the line between, is this actually happening, or are they just little kids just playing in there and they're just make-believing? And a lot of people will say that, oh, if they were just just playing a game and they weren't doing anything, why at the end Chara pops up and he rips off his heart out and then turns evil. And I think that ending is the thing that messes up kinda. And it messes up because that ending I don't think was supposed to be in this game at all. I think what was supposed to happen is that it was just supposed to have a happy, just supposed to be a happy ending or whatever. But let's get into the story of what the game is actually supposed to be. So when we first start off the game, you see that Chris wakes up and he's in this big room all by himself, and you see his side, which is just this monochrome, just desaturated side of his bed where he doesn't have anything on his shelves. It's just empty. And then if you look at Azriel's side, it's all colorful. He has a bunch of statues, he has a bunch of trophies and everything, and it kind of creates this contrast where some people think that the other side is just empty because it's supposed to be oh, it's just a blank character that you're supposed to put yourself in. But you can also argue that it kind of shows that maybe Chris is just an adopted child that wasn't loved that much. Maybe he's lonely. Well, Azriel was this popular kid that always got trophies. He just had a happy life. And once you go to the school, it's obvious that you don't have any friends in the school. You just go to classroom and you can't find a partner. So you end up partnering with the bully, which threatens you. And that's very important at the beginning because it shows that that Chris is just a lonely character, and he's all alone in the world now that his brother is gone. He doesn't have any friends at school, and now he's stuck with the bully of the school. And then once you go into the closet, then that's when things get a little tricky. Because if you pay attention very closely, everything that happens in the game is just whatever that's inside the closet. All the enemies in the game are based off of deck of cards, checkerboards. All the trees are even just they just look like they were just cut out of paper. And most important, the characters that you meet inside the closet is the most important part. Because the first character you meet is this person named Rael, I forgot the name, but it's the prince that's inside the castle. But at the end, it turns out the character is just Azriel, pretty much. And it's not actually Azriel, but it just looks like Azriel, which is very important. And the next character you meet is Lancer, which is, this goofy character who's supposed to be young, and he looks up to Susie. And guess what? Lancer's father is this abusive character that's abusing Lancer, and he's even tries to kill him. But just hold on to that thought for a second. So what happens in the game is that both Chris and Susie fall into this closet where they're like pretty much make-believing that they're in this like universe where they're like, you know, fighting monsters and everything. But who are the characters they're with? Chris is with Azrael most of the game. I'm just gonna call him Azrael because I forgot the actual name of him. But he's pretty much with Azrael, his brother, who he probably misses. Azrael was probably his only friend in the world, so that's who he imagines was there. And who does Susie imagine? She imagines Lancer, which is this character that looks up to him. Maybe she's a single child, so she imagines someone like Lancer, who's just, you know, this younger brother to her that will like that she can like teach and like nurture. And the thing is that she's a bully, so she probably is coming from like an abusive home. So the Lancer's father is probably like an imagination of her own father that probably abuses her, and that's why throughout the game, the whole like the closet sequence feels like the actual meat of the game. And I think that's the message of the game. It's just these two kids goes inside the closet and they just make believe stuff and they just play a game with each other. I don't think the stuff that actually happened in there happened in the original game. But the thing is that since Undertale happened and like it was such a big game, I think he just felt the need to just like make both of these games like connect in a way or two. And I think that kind of like takes away from this game, because I think the story is pretty amazing, but like just trying to add like Chara and like Gasser into this game, I think it just like, I don't think it like makes too much sense. But of course there's a lot of stuff that they like hint at that's like, oh, it might be a sequel or it might be a prequel. And I think one of the most important ones that a lot of people miss is Onion Sun. So Onion Sun is just like a small character you meet in Undertale when you're going through, after you fight Undying, I think. And then while you're walking, he'll just come up and like try to talk to you. Well, the thing is that his name is Onion Sun in Undertale. And when you meet him in this game, he doesn't remember his name, he doesn't know what his name is. And you name him Onion Sun. So it's kind of this weird thing where I think it feels like Toby's trying to tell us that like the events of this game somehow affected this other timeline. Or maybe it's that like Char like turns evil and then like tries to like kill like the whole town or something, and then like Sans tries to run away and like try to create like another timeline to like, I don't even know, to like just get away from it, from this evil, to like, and then that becomes Undertale. That's like the only like explanation I can think of. And the reason why Char became evil is I feel like it's because at the end of the game, you get to the dark portal or whatever the hell it is, and your soul releases from your body, but your actual body is just empty. So I think that's when the Chara's soul or whatever it is comes out of the dark portal and goes into your body. And once you go back into the real world, then Chara's like, fuck this heart, it just rips it out of there and then takes over the whole body. So I don't think DeltaRune meant to be connected to Undertale. I think it was supposed to be its own thing about like this lonely kid who's adopted and this like kid that's coming from like an abusive home, like hating each other at first, and then they like reconnect and they go into this closet and they just make believe stuff in there. But I think it like kind of got turned into this other thing about like, you know, other dimensions and like fucking Gasser like trying to like communicate with you through a cell phone. I think that stuff kind of takes away from the greatness of DeltaRune. So anyways guys, let me know what you guys think. Tell me what your theories are, because this is my theory. I think this game never meant to be connected to Undertale at all, and then Toby just felt the need to like connect it somehow because people were gonna look for it anyways, and I think he just wants to have some fun with it. I think that's why like people are like freaking out about like the egg thing and the egg that you find like behind the tree. You know, I think it's just meant to be an Easter egg, you know. I think Toby's just having some fun with it. But anyways guys, I'll see you guys in the next video and have a good day.